Hello world, you're watching 80s music twin ranked again.
70s.
70s music. Or 60s.
Oh yeah, it's 60s. It's to 71.
We're going past the 70s. I'm gonna break through to the other side to the 60s.
Wait till we get to the big band stuff. Duke Ellington.
But by the way, there's our Ozzy Osbourne tie. Jim Morrison did break on through to the other side.
All right.
As Ozzy discussed, the other side is death, right?
I did see several titles that related to past videos. I saw one that related with. I saw crying in a lot of things, and it might have just been lyrics too.
Okay. What band did they remind you of? Anybody? Believe it or not, they sort of remind me of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Okay.
You know, these like 6 albums, all these hits, and then the band itself is gone. Now the band, why they tried to continue without Jim Morrison is beyond me. As a trio,
Yeah.
I guess they found out he was the band.
Yeah, there's bands where the lead singer leaves and it's just
Not the same.
yeah, like Phil Collins left Genesis. They tried.
And you know, after Oliver Stone's movie came out, the band is like, why is it all about him? Oh,
It is all about him.
the band is him basically. Now, granted, the music's good. Did Jim Morrison play any instruments?
I don't think so.
Maybe the harmonica?
From what I could tell, he didn't. They used the session musicians for other things like saxophone, but he was the band, even though he wasn't the band. So I'll tell you, but just with the like Creedence Clearwater, you know, when the specific song comes up, you recognize it. They don't all sound alike, right?
Right.
Most of their hits are like that.
Yeah, they're all
Now
different.
there are a few that are similar. The beginning of Love Me Two Times and Roadhouse Blues are slightly similar, except for that. That's how you identify the Love Me Two Times.
Right.
Anyway,
I don't know if did you see any of the movie at all?
yes, I watched the whole
Okay,
thing.
so the keyboard that Ray Mantusak,
The Mini Moog, or
yeah, the thing, he looks like a typewriter almost that he
Right.
plays. It's not a regular keyboard. I'm sure he knows how to play one of those.
right. And as you all know, Val Kilmer played him, and he also died.
Yeah.
But he made it twice his age. He's from the 27 Club.
Yeah.
And so is his girlfriend,
Yeah,
who
I
died
mean-
like 3 years later.
Yeah, but there's way more than that now. I mean, because now we're up to in our age where Heath Ledger is on there, and yeah, a lot of people.
And there's probably a ton of rappers, because a rapper dies like every year.
Yeah,
or
well,
every month, I mean.
Rappers don't even make it to 27.
Yeah. Okay, so they were famously on the Ed Sullivan Show, and one of my favorite quotes too, like the Culture Club's Boy George had a pretty good quote against Pete Burns, right?
Yeah.
He says, doesn't matter who did it first, who did it better.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And here they perform on Ed Sullivan, and they're told not to do the lyrics higher,
and they did. And I've heard I read that there's 2 different versions of one. He was just so nervous being on TV,
He forgot they were supposed
and
to
saying
change
it the right way.
which I doubt. His attitude, I think, probably not.
Yeah, but in the movie, I guess Val Kilmer exaggerated the word, where he just sang it with no emphasis.
Right.
So. But Ed Sullivan said, "You'll never do our show again." And Jim Morrison said, "We did the Ed
We
Sullivan
just
show."
did your show.
Yeah.
Take that. Pretty good line.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, he was the first rock star
To be arrested
live
Yeah.
while performing.
Yeah.
And the story leading up to that obviously had to be sexual, didn't it?
Right.
But he took and then he had another time where he was performing live. He
Yes.
didn't get arrested for this one. Took a cop's hat, threw it into the audience.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the cop did his.
Yeah. They were at an airport hangar where it was like max 7,000 people, but there's 12,000 people inside the thing because they took away all the chairs.
Yes.
And
And he was an hour late.
They were an hour late from a plane because they missed their flight, and they were all drunk when they got there. Yeah.
So I would say the Doors would not be a band
You'd want to see live?
Probably not, because
Yeah.
the chances of a riot are up there.
So now, the only time that has ever happened, well, technically it didn't happen because they weren't arrested, but the Blues Brothers had a lot of cops around waiting to arrest them. But they snuck out. They got arrested later at the city hall.
Yeah, it's just the same.
Jim Morrison did not have a cool car chase.
We don't know that. All right, so Oliver Stone. Oh, actually, I was just going to say he did Apocalypse Now. That was not him, was it? That was Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah.
So their song, long, 12 minutes long, The End, is in that movie. Yeah, I didn't recognize it though. But what's the song that plays when the napalm scene is happening? Do you remember?
I don't
Have you
know.
ever-
Was that the Doors?
I thought it might have been the Doors.
I don't recall.
When you look at that movie, it does remind you of the Doors. It's like if I was at a Doors concert, that's what I think of.
Okay, yeah.
Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Now.
well, yeah, and I told you that. I said it reminds me of Vietnam. I'm sure there were protesters though. Yeah, they're like a counterculture band, right? So,
Yes.
but there's a Billy Joel song, okay, called "Good Night Saigon," and in there it says we played our Doors tapes. So, and it's talking about the people that are in Vietnam fighting the war.
Which
So, did that happen? Were people playing Doors tapes?
which album?
Which albums did they have?
Which album would you buy?
I think I would buy LA Woman.
LA Woman, the last one.
Either that or the first one. Because the first one is their biggest selling album.
Right. You know what? I don't know. Morrison Hotel supposedly is their biggest hit,
Okay.
or their most iconic album. Supposedly, I don't know who said that. I made it up right now.
They said it's pretty good, yeah. I guess their least favorite is
Yeah, and
Waiting for the Sun.
and they actually-
oh yeah, Waiting for the Sun. We were just talking about Walking on the Sun
Right.
with some band. I can't remember which band that was.
no, I don't know either. Smash Mouth.
Yeah, but we were talking about it with one of the bands we just did. Was it Kiss? I think we might have been
Possibly. Okay, but anyways, their two sides are names. You know how like Heart had one side was dog, one side was butterfly.
Kiss. Yeah, right.
So they had Hard Rock Cafe was on one,
And Morrison.
and Morrison Hotel on
yeah.
the other.
Yep.
Did they come up with the Hard Rock Hotel? Is that their idea?
No.
They're all over the place now, right? Okay. Would he have gone? So, like Creedence Clearwater Revival, they ended, and then John Fogerty came back into the solo career. Would Jim Morrison have went on a solo career later in his life if he didn't die?
I don't know. I know he wanted to leave the Doors a few times, and this last time he went to Paris and probably overdosed. They said it was heart failure, but
Right.
I think his girlfriend admitted she died like 3 years later.
Yes.
But she admitted that she got the pills that probably killed him.
They were never married, but they called it common law, and she got
Yeah.
like half his estate.
Well, then when she died, the parents got his
I know.
poetry, so
Yay for the parents.
yeah. So.
Okay, I think that is all I have until we get to the.
If you want to know more about them, just watch the movie.
Right.
Which they say is historically inaccurate anyway, so.
Yeah, there is a documentary I'm sure out there about them too.
Yeah. So.
Take your pick.
Alright, let's get to the
Top 10. Okay, so believe it or not, we do not have any honorable mentions. We both picked the same top 10.
Makes sense. Because I think was it 10 or 11 hits that are constantly on the radio.
Maybe 11. Now, I have to say, a couple of the songs without Jim Morrison, I did like.
Oh, yeah.
But I still put them outside of the top 10. And the one hit that you would think might have made one of our lists that didn't Riders on the Storm.
That's how the movie begins.
Oh, on with Riders on the Storm?
I really like that where he does the
Yeah.
and the keyboards and
Yeah.
everything is just going down.
Right. Now, there is a movie called Rider in the Rain, which is a storm,
Okay.
with Charles Bronson. Not related.
Yes. Well, REO Speedwagon.
Rider in the Storm.
They rode the storm out.
Okay, number 10. The one song that connects them to the 80s. Originally a Van Morrison song, but they had recorded with him. Some one of the early years. They actually, the Doors and Van Morrison did a song together called Gloria.
Right.
And
But
then-
they did it several other times live. and
Right. So
the
you're
one we hear is
looking
probably-
at 12 years after Jim Morrison died, they put out an album called, is that the American Prayer?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay, and they put that hit out, and somehow it made the top 20, which I am surprised, especially when it's not them and the Doors. That music's not relatable to the 80s. Somehow it made the top 20.
Maybe. When did Laura Branigan's Gloria come out? Maybe they released it because that was out?
I think that was
And,
81, maybe.
and
'cause
they're like, hey, we have the same title. Let's throw that out there.
that's true, and they don't sound alike.
Not at all.
Okay, so anyways, that's from, oh, actually it's not from American Prayer, it's from Alive, She Cried. It was
Okay.
a live CD they
I
put
knew
out.
it was an A.
Yes, but I had this at 10, you had it at 9, and yeah, that's the bottom because it's not really theirs. Number 9, which is theirs, I think this was the final hit of theirs before he died. That was Love Her Madly. Both of us put this at 8. And you gotta love her madly as she walking out the door. I love you.
Oh,
Slam.
yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty. Again,
Yeah,
this is the
and
one.
okay, so they have a guitarist, right? They don't have a bass player because the Ray does the bass in his thing live, but they have a bass player for the studio albums because he said it didn't really translate
Yes.
well to being taped. So, but when he plays live, he does the bass part. every
Right,
single-
right. And that's got to
So,
be how Rush did
But
their.
instead of guitar solos, all the solos are pretty much him, right? That's
yeah,
that one.
yeah. I mean, they have a lot of keyboard solos.
Yeah.
Is Love Her Madly a keyboard solo? I mean,
Yeah, that's what I
this
was
one
saying.
sounds like actually a Barcelona song with the piano.
Yeah, but that's the solo I was singing.
Okay, got it.
So.
All right, but we put that at 8, and now it's our 9. Number 8, coming from Strange Days, and I don't know, are the Doors songs in that Strange Days movie? I've
No,
never seen
I
it.
like that movie though.
Did you like it?
I like because they show at the beginning the woman jumping into the subway train, the cops following her.
Right.
And you don't see why they did that until over halfway through when
I've never seen the movie, but I want to.
Oh, you need to see it.
Gabriel Byrne's in it, right?
No, that was
No?
Ray Fiennes.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyways, I have this one at 5. You have it at 10. Strange Days is not the song; it's the album. My favorite album cover, though, because it's got all the weird-looking people. From,
Yeah, there's a big fat guy and
Yeah.
midget.
Well,
yeah,
he's like the weightlifter because every freak show has a guy who can lift.
Strongman, yeah.
Strongman, yeah. They didn't have the bearded lady there. They had the 2 midgets, one guy juggling. The juggling guy and the trumpet player were roadies. They were not actual freaks. But anyway, it's called "People Are Strange."
Yeah, and then the lyrics, it says people are strange, and then when you keep reading the lyrics, you're actually talking about yourself.
Yes, because it does say "when you're strange."
When you're strange,
Yes, and if you're put it in any situation, everybody will be a fish out of water
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, in fact, I've said in times for talking to people, he's weird. You hear people go, he's weird. And I always say, we're all weird in our own way.
Yeah, well, I mean, just like you got to take a normal person.
Yeah.
You're like, How do I make it strange? Well, throw Harrison Ford into the Amish community. Now he's strange. Or you have the Twilight Zone episode where you're normal and the doctors can't change you to look freakish. Okay, anyways, so I had a 5, you had a 10. That's People Are Strange. Number 7, coming from the debut, The Doors. My 9, your 5. It's Light My Fire. Possibly their biggest known hit because of that Ed Sullivan thing.
How is it his? If it was his fire, doesn't that mean it's already burning? Are you relighting it with this weird?
Currently, only the pilot light's on. You have to light it to make the flames. Like he's like a water heater. I don't know. Or hey, he has a joint. Hey, light my fire. He doesn't have a match and he asks for one.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like he's talking about.
It's got this creative intro.
Yeah, I think that's why I put it so low. I do not care for that sound of the keyboard.
And they get slower.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. But anyways, that's 7 because I don't care for it. You do. Number 6.
Can't go much higher.
And then 7.
We can't go much higher.
Okay, number 6, coming from Morrison Hotel, which I forget where that's located. Do you remember?
I didn't know it was a real hotel. I thought it was.
It used to be.
Okay, I thought they were just putting his name in.
No, it actually.
Okay.
And I heard the story again on Professor of Rock because he went through the most iconic album covers of the 70s, and this was in it. Because they shot it at a hotel, real hotel, where they didn't have permission to shoot.
Okay.
And they saw the clerk that said no go into the elevator, maybe to deliver room service. And they said, "Hurry up, get in there! I'll shoot the picture." So, an illegal photo. That's what made it iconic. Anyways, the song is Roadhouse Blues, and again, I'm gonna ask you this. Is that song in the movie Roadhouse?
No, it's not.
No, that's not it. Believe it or not, that's why I said they sound alike.
Okay.
It does have the do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And this is the one where he says, "Let it roll, let it roll," and it's got the harmonica. That's why you said he
This
played
is
harmonica.
your parents talking.
Yes.
Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel.
That's right. This is my number 4, your number 6. So Roadhouse Blues. And
Okay, so there's a word he says here. He says it in another song too. You don't ever hear this word said by people. But there are 2 songs that are hits. They will say it. Bungalow.
He said bungalow? You know what? I don't remember him saying
he said at the Roadhouse in the back there's a bunch of bungalows.
Okay.
As where people who want to calm down slow or something. I can't remember the lyrics.
Are the bungalows in the Fletch movie?
I was thinking that too.
Tennis
yes,
court?
I was thinking
I thought
that.
those were bungalows, but I could be wrong. All right, number 5, coming from Strange Days. My number 6, your number 4. This and exactly the same numbers. This one charted higher, which is why it's up above, and that's "Love Me 2 Times."
One for tomorrow.
One for today. Whereas the Commodores say 3 times a lady. I loved you once, I loved you twice. See ya. Just love you 2 times. Obviously, I think it's talking about sailors on leave.
Oh yeah.
And then they had 2 days, and then they have to get back on their ship, something like that. All right. Number 4, coming from L.A. Woman. Your number 2, my number 7, and a song we had on a previous top 10. Can you guess it?
I cannot.
It's L.A. Woman, which is on Billy Idol's. He did a remake.
Okay.
Which I did not realize it was a remake at the time we
Okay.
did Billy Idol. But his version is pretty good. But yeah, their version is longer. 8 minutes long.
Yeah, now, did you listen to this?
Right.
Okay, so he starts singing these lyrics. If you're watching the lyrics on the screen while he's singing,
Right.
he is mumbling. It happened about an hour ago. I'm like, what? You're reading lyrics, I'm like, I'm reading them.
Yes.
It's probably what he said. It didn't sound anything like it.
And again, I didn't know he was talking about the city. I actually thought it
Alright.
was a woman until I researched this. And he's talking about the city being a woman. You know, you can name anything a woman, pretty much.
So, and then it gets slower. And then he goes, Mr. Mojo Rising.
Which is his
And
name
yeah,
as an
Anagram, like
anagram.
mixed up. It's Jim Morrison's mixed up, scrambled.
Yeah. Interesting. I should have tried and see if I could do my name.
Yeah, make it
Jumble the words. I probably can't. Fail. All right. Number 3, coming from Waiting for the Sun, and that's basically in the morning. Wait time to wait for the sun. Right. My number 2. Your number 7. It's Hello, I Love You. Now, is he talking to the sun? Since it's from the sun.
Yeah, okay, so, Stalker?
Well,
He goes, hello, I love you. Can you tell me your name? Ah,
You
yeah.
don't know their name, but you love them. Or it's SpongeBob once again. They're selling chocolate, and they go to the house, and they said, "You gotta flatter people when you sell chocolate, right?" And they ring a doorbell. Person opens the door. Patrick goes, "I love you," to sell chocolate. Okay, number 2, coming from the Soft Parade, which means this album we would not buy because it's
Yeah, and it has them on it, but they're like shrunk down. And
Yes.
it's like, looks so weird.
right. Both of us put this particular song at number 3, so they got a really good song, and the only song you want to hear on that album when they had the big band,
Yeah.
right? They had the horns and
Which was the producer's idea.
did they have strings too, or just horns?
I think they had strings and horns.
Yeah, okay, they had, and oh, by the way, let's go back. Hello, I Love You. You know what I like about that song?
What?
The middle.
Oh, you know what?
It has that weird one note where it goes. Beep, beep.
Oh, yeah.
That is.
I
cool.
forgot though. This is the one song where the Kinks' Ray Davies was thinking about suing them
Oh yeah,
because
Yeah.
done all day and all the night. Hello, I love you. It's the same. You know, it sounds
I
similar.
know,
So.
but again,
He decided not to.
I
sing.
do get sick of that
Yeah.
because every song eventually
Yes.
is gonna sound the same. As witness to today's music, because it all sounds the same.
Why aren't all the movie people suing each other?
All right,
Movies
yeah.
are like-
Deep Impact and Armageddon comes out at the same time. Can you sue? All right. Anyway, back to number 2. Both of us put this at number 3, coming from the Soft Parade. It is "Touch Me." How's that for a song title? And I like what he says after that, "'Cause I am not afraid."
Yes.
So he's the opposite of Rod Stewart.
Howie Mandel also has a germ phobia.
Oh yeah, but Rod Stewart, he says, "Tonight I'm yours. Don't hurt me."
Yeah, oh yeah. But, you know what? The horns added some to it.
And again, you hear about the stories about
Yeah.
Jim Morrison with his drug lifestyle, and then you hear this, and he's like a crooner.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about his singing style. He does sound like
He could be like a Frank Sinatra
Vegas,
type.
a Vegas lounge singer. He could
Yes.
be like.
So I listen to the music, and I don't get the offensiveness of his lifestyle.
Yeah.
Until you read the stories.
They said there was 2 different versions of him too.
Yeah.
They said he was very polite and nice when he was not drunk. Is that Jekyll and Hyde they call him?
Oh, okay. All right, so that brings us to our number 1, which both of us put at number 1. And if you haven't figured out what we didn't put in our list yet,
It was their very first hit.
very first hit, "Break On Through to the Other Side." By the way, this is interesting. So I already mentioned Ozzy Osbourne. He said, "See you on the other side." Aerosmith has a song,
The other side.
"The
right?
Other Side."
Right.
And they also remade a Doors song. And I forget which one it is. Love Me. They sang "Love Me Two Times."
Okay.
in the movie Air America
Okay.
with Robert Downey Jr., who was Iron Man, which ties us back to Ozzy Osbourne.
Okay.
Well, all comes
Air
full
America, they're flying a plane. I'm like, that kind of reminds me of like them flying into Vietnam. It
Yes.
probably has nothing to do with Vietnam.
Well,
but-
they are in a different country. When they
Yes,
fly,
and I saw that movie, but I don't remember anything about it.
so- yeah, and Robert Downey Jr. with Mel Gibson. What a
Yes.
pairing that is. Anyway, so that is our top 10. Break on through to the other side.
That's Kool-Aid Man's theme song. Oh yeah! She breaks on through the other side of the wall.
Yes. So we both agreed it was number 1, which means we're
It
right.
is. We're right. That's right.
Even though it came out and it did not chart high, probably because they were unknown.
I thought I read somewhere that there was, I thought the fans their favorite song. That there was
Yeah.
too.
But it did not chart, probably because it was their first song. But the very next song went up to number 1, which was Light My Fire. So I disagree with that. You, not as much as me, but there you have it. All right, so who are we going to do next week? Is the artist we're doing next week from the 70s?
Yes.
Okay.
60s too. Didn't I say? Sorry.
Yeah, did
About
he?
the same time.
About the same time?
Yeah.
And
And involved with movies.
yeah, it didn't really come from a band.
Yeah.
Came from a
Duet.
Duet. Do you call two guys a duet?
Yeah. Now, short span for the Doors. 6 albums, right? But it was a 5-year period, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, 67 to 71.
Yeah, okay, so
4 years.
yeah, but the next band we're doing
Long.
long. Yeah,
He's still alive, too.
both of them are. Both of them are.
Yes, but we're only going to focus on one guy, just so you know.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be next video, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Right.